In Waitress's act of kindness takes an unexpected turn. She helps a homeless man in need but ends up getting fired. Just when things seem hopeless, an incredible twist changes everything. The mayor himself shows up, and what happens next will leave you stunned. Andrew, before we dive into this moving story of courage and compassion, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining our community, you'll enjoy inspiring, heartwarming stories like this one, tales that uplift and remind us of the power of kindness. Don't miss out on weekly videos that restore your faith in humanity. Subscribe now, and let's spread positivity together. It was a typical busy morning at the diner, filled with the comforting buzz of clinking dishes, soft chatter, and the occasional shout of an order from the kitchen. The aroma of sizzling bacon and fresh coffee filled the air, wrapping the small diner in a cozy warmth. Emily, a seasoned waitress, moved effortlessly through the crowd, balancing trays and taking orders with precision. Her cheerful smile had a way of brightening anyone's day, whether it was the grumpy regular who only ever ordered black coffee or the young couple squeezing in a quick breakfast before work. But today felt different. As Emily served a plate of pancakes, her eyes drifted toward the window. Sitting on the curb outside was a man who seemed forgotten by the world, his worn clothes and tired expression silently telling a story of hardship. His appearance told a story without words: frayed clothes, a pale, unshaven face, and hunched shoulders that seemed burdened by the weight of the world. He barely moved, but his eyes lingered on the plates of food being carried into the diner, filled with a quiet, aching hunger. Emily hesitated, her heart tugged by the sight. Homelessness was a familiar sight in the city, but something about this man struck a chord deep within her. His gaze, filled with a mix of longing and despair, was impossible to ignore. After a quick glance around to ensure her tables were settled, Emily made a decision. She walked to the counter and began assembling a plate. Scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, golden hash browns, and a slice of buttered toast were carefully arranged, along with a steaming cup of coffee poured into a sturdy mug. Balancing the tray, she stepped outside. "Excuse me, sir," Emily said gently. The man flinched at the sound, startled by her approach. He glanced up, his tired eyes narrowing in caution. "Can I help you?" he asked, his voice hoarse. Uh, I thought you might be hungry," Emily replied, holding out the food and coffee. "Here, please, take this." His hands trembled as he reached for the plate. "I don't have any money," he murmured, his voice laced with shame. "You don't need any," Emily said with a warm smile. "It's on the house." The man stared at her, disbelief flickering across his face. "Why would you do this?" he asked softly. "Mm, um, because everyone deserves kindness," she answered simply. Ugh. He looked down at the plate, his emotions welling up as he gripped it tightly. "Thank you," he whispered. "I don't even know how to say thank you." "What's your name?" Emily asked, sitting down on the curb beside him. "Sam," he said after a pause. "I used to be somebody, you know? I served in the army. But now, his voice faltered, trailing off into silence. Emily waited quietly, giving Sam the space he needed. She understood that sometimes silence spoke louder than words. "I lost everything when I came back," Sam finally said, his voice shaking. "I couldn't find work, couldn't sleep because of the nightmares. My family tried to help, but I pushed them away, and now I'm here." Emily's chest tightened with sympathy. "I'm so sorry, Sam. You've been through so much, but you're still someone, and you're not alone." Unbeknownst to Emily, her kind gesture hadn't gone unnoticed. From his office, Mr. Grayson, the diner's owner, had been watching. To him, Emily's act wasn't compassion, it was defiance. He prided himself on running a respectable business and believed helping someone like Sam would scare away paying customers. Hmm. Unbeknownst to Emily, he had been watching every aspect of the delivery update. As soon as Emily returned inside, Mr. Grayson stormed out, his face red with anger. Emily, he barked, his voice cutting through the chatter. What do you think you're doing? Emily turned, startled by his outburst. I was just helping someone who needed it, she said cautiously. Helping someone? He mocked. You gave away food without payment. Do you even realize how much that plate cost? This is a business, not a charity. Emily's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, but she stood her ground. Um, it was just one plate, she said firmly. And he was hungry. I couldn't ignore that. Well, you should have, Mr. Grayson snapped. You've embarrassed this diner in front of our customers. You're fired. A heavy silence fell over the room as everyone turned to stare. Emily's heart pounded, but she refused to back down. If showing kindness is something to be ashamed of, then I don't want to work here, she replied, with unwavering conviction. Oh, she removed her apron, set it on the counter, and walked out of the diner with her head held high. Outside, Emily sat on a bench, trying to process what had just happened. Her emotions swirled: anger at Mr. Grayson's cruelty, sadness over losing her job, and doubt about whether she'd done the right thing. She was so deep in thought that she didn't notice the sleek black car pulling up until the door opened. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, his presence commanding yet approachable. Excuse me, he said warmly. Are you Emily? Emily looked up, startled. Yes, that's me, she replied. You wanted what? Emily's eyes widened. Her mayor nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes doing the right thing comes at a cost. But people like you, those who lead with their hearts, are exactly what this community needs. He handed her a business card. There's a nonprofit organization that helps veterans and the homeless. They're looking for someone compassionate and dedicated. If you're interested, I'd be happy to recommend you. Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she accepted the card. Thank you, she said, her voice trembling. Oh, oh, this means so much to me. But the mayor didn't stop there. He shared Emily's story on social media, praising her courage and calling on the community to take action. The post went viral, inspiring thousands. Donations poured into local shelters, volunteers stepped up to help the homeless, and businesses began collaborating with nonprofits to provide job opportunities for people like Sam. As for Sam, his life took a remarkable turn. With help from the nonprofit, he received medical care, therapy, and a safe place to stay. He even found part-time work at a community center where he dedicated himself to helping other veterans navigate their struggles. So, um, it's years later, Emily would look back on that life-changing day and smile. What started as a simple act of kindness had blossomed into a movement, one that transformed lives and reminded everyone of the incredible power of compassion. For Sam, that meal wasn't just food, it was hope. And for Emily, the encounter set her on a path she never could have imagined, a journey filled with purpose and inspiration. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories. Together, let's make the world a kinder place, one act of kindness at a time.